Hello, hello. How is everyone? Hey, hey, hey. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How are y'all? Come on in. Come on in. Come on. How is everyone today? Come on in. Take your seat. Grab your drink. What y'all drinking? What y'all drinking? Let me tell you. Today, I have some Lipton tea. We're drinking Lipton tea. Yes, we are. Mm-hmm. Yes. Come on in. We are going to talk about all the things. You know how I do. I like to talk about all the things. Yes, indeed. But first, I have to say happy birthday to my brother. Today is my brother's birthday, and I have to give big ups to him because it's his birthday. He is the patriarch of our family, and today I honor him. He is the first, the original Tantalus. I named my son after him. And then his son is named Tantalus. Yeah, there's three of them. But you know what? I would not have it any other way. I love them. So I must say, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear brother. Happy birthday to you. My mama made me do that. So this episode is dedicated to you, my brother. So this topic, my topic today, is from when I attended a conference, Woman to Woman. It was a great, wonderful conference from my church. And we were all sitting at a table. And you know, when you go places, you see a lot of people all the time. And all you say is, hey, how you doing? Praise the Lord. All that stuff, right? But you really don't have a lot of conversation. So we were all sitting at the table. And they had some conversation starters at the table. And it was for us to break the ice. Because, of course, you know, going past hello is kind of difficult, right? Well, for some people it is. You know, I kind of talk all the time. Well, they had a topic this time, and it was on fire at our table. And this incredible woman's story, oh my gosh, it touched everyone at the table. I'm getting chills already just thinking about it. And I immediately told her that I had to have her as a guest on my podcast. I did. I had to have her as a podcast on my podcast. So let's welcome Melanie. Say hey to Melanie. Hey. Yeah. So Melanie, tell us a little bit about yourself, girl.
Okay. So my name is Melanie. I am a huge photographer. Love it. Always have loved it. It's definitely a passion of mine. I also love to create content and edit content. And also, I am a pastor's kid. Both of my parents are pastors, and the pastors forever.
You know what? Wait a minute. I hate to interrupt you, but did you know I was a pastor's kid too?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
see, PK's got to stick together, man. PKs all the time. But yeah, and my parents were also in the military, so traveled the world.
I'm a military brat too.
Oh, see? What branch?
Army.
Okay, Navy.
Okay. My son's in the Navy.
Oh, see. So yeah, we traveled the world forever, lived overseas in Italy for about 10 years, and then came back to the States and have traveled from Florida to Virginia.
Wow.
So it's been crazy, but it's been good. Um, I also just have a passion for, like I said, art, anything art, like artistic, but I'm really high into the like Photoshop and editing portions too, because that's
Okay.
something I've really enjoyed. And yeah, I like being creative.
Yeah, creative. You're a great dancer.
Oh,
What about the
yes.
creative dancing? Like,
Yes. So I was, everybody has, oh, I was back in my day when I was dancing at 4. I'm like, well, I was 4, I wasn't dancing, so it wasn't that far back. But yeah, I mean, I've done normal dancing when I was younger, and then just because being in the military, you travel so much, you can't stay there. But I started to get really into like praise dancing, and I never saw it before until I went and lived overseas, and they asked me to be a part of it, and I was like, I don't know. But so I started praise dancing, and I absolutely like fell in love with it. It's just, and I started, because everybody says, "Oh, God gives you gifts," and so I was like, I think that's what mine is, between praise dancing and also doing dramas with youth or even adults, because I can listen to a song and come up with a dance or a drama in a matter of like maybe a day or two from start to finish. And so it's just something that I'm very passionate about, and also it touches others. So that's something that I've started to notice. Again, the older I get, it's like more people come and tell me like, hey, you did beautiful up there. And I was like, oh, thanks. And they're like, no, you really like touched my life. And I was like, really? Just from me dancing? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. Like,
yeah.
thanks.
Because what was it? Christmas? The Christmas?
No,
it was Easter.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that dance. Oh my goodness, it was so amazing.
Yeah.
Very amazing. So, how are you? Good.
Yeah.
I am so thankful that you are here with me today. I am, and I'm happy that we were able to make this happen. Because, girl, oh my gosh, let me tell you, it's so funny how we want things to happen like right now.
You gotta have it. I want it now. Attitude.
Right. Yes. Like, do you remember the song from the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? Like the little girl that said the saying, I want it now. Like she went through the thing talking about, I want it now. And if I don't get it, I'm gonna scream. Do you remember that? Like, I think that's when all kids started to lose it because of that golden ticket for that chocolate bar. Because, it's a time and a place for everything, but timing is important in all areas, many areas of life, like professional, personal, and development. And personal, being in the right place at the right time, connecting with someone at the right moment, or making better life choices, for developing a baby or something. Professional, launching a product or a service at the right time, hiring the right person at the right time, or knowing when to take action as a leader. Development, differences in timing. I learned a new word. Heterochronies. I was like, what the heck is that?
I was going to try to repeat it, but that ain't going to happen.
Heterochrony. Yeah. So basically, it's genetically controlled changes, which is a timing in the rate, or like related to ancestors or developing organisms that can lead to changes in the size or shape or even presence of organs and features. Yeah. So what are some things that you have had to have happen like right now? Like right now, right now.
Well, um, so a lot has like happened just within like the last 2 years.
Okay.
Um, like life changing. So so for all my life, I've always struggled with weight. All ever since I've been in middle school, high school, college, just everywhere. Um, so it was really hard. I got bullied really bad in high school and middle school because of my weight,
Mhm.
to the point where you would just go home and cry. Like you didn't want to be a part of stuff. I mean, even like coaches were telling me that I was too fat to be on a team, and but it's just like the more I look back on it, it breaks your heart because people don't hear that. They hear, oh well, they're getting, you know, you're gonna get made fun of, but they don't really see the effects and like trauma it really
Yeah.
does to a person.
Yeah.
And so that's something that, like I said, I've always struggled with, until a couple of years ago. I got told by my doctors that I had fatty liver, and which, you can get fatty liver from being both overweight, or a lot of people associate fatty liver with drinking,
Yeah.
heavily drinking.
Yeah.
And so, because when they told me that, I was like, I don't drink though, like
Mhm.
at all. And they said, oh, well, no, that's not what we're relating it to. And I was like, okay, well, but then again, it's like, oh, well, maybe it's not that bad. But then the more I would see, and I had a couple surgeries, like shoulder surgery and wrist surgery, and that's actually where my doctor brought it up to me that my liver enzymes are really high, like abnormally high. And I was like, oh, okay. So again, I didn't really take it serious here and there, but finally in 2023, I got diagnosed with sleep apnea, which can be health related. I mean, weight related cannot be. It depends. But I know for me, it definitely was. And so when I went there, the nurse was telling me, yeah, I had sleep apnea before, but I ended up getting a weight loss surgery. And I said, oh, because again, I've always struggled with like, let's do the keto diet, let's do the
Yeah.
health-based diet, let's do, the crash diet, I mean, I once
Again,
tried-
that right now fix,
yeah,
right?
I was like, I gotta jump in and do, a crash diet because, I'm at school and I want to try out with the softball team, and he's gonna tell me I'm fat, so I just wouldn't eat hardly anything
Mhm.
or something like that. So fast forward, she was telling me about it, and she's like, yeah, I had a weight loss surgery done. And I was like, oh, can you tell me more? Because I know my parents have always told me, like, hey, you need to start getting your health in balance because, you're young. Like, I'm only 32. And I was like, okay, yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah, I know I need to.
Mhm.
So I went and she was telling me about my surgeon, and he was one of the top doctors in Virginia. And I was like, oh, he had just came from another practice to Mary Washington, which is where the hospital is that I go to. I was like, oh. So I went, I was like, you know what? Let me do this appointment. Let me just do I call it a trial. Like, let's see what I can do.
Yeah.
Go in there. And so I go in and I'm talking to him, and he's like, you know what? After doing this, you seem like a good candidate for a gastric sleeve. And I was like, okay, but what does it all entail? Like, is it like really like hard on you? Like, I don't know. I'm really scared of it. But he explained everything, was a great guy. And so it's like, okay. So fast after I do that, I called the insurance and got it all set up. And a lot of people think that when you get weight loss surgery, it's just, easy way out. And it's not
Yeah.
at all.
I know.
Because I had to go through a 6-month process for my insurance, but even some people have to do a year, 2 years. That's how, depending on what they are. Some people have to lose a lot of weight beforehand. Some people don't. Like I had to get psych evals done. I had to do a whole bunch of tests to get prepared for this. And again, I was like, it's a weight loss surgery. Like I just think of like, give me a date, let me go. I'm good. I mean, I'm overweight, so let's do this. But my biggest thing that I took from it was that I didn't even expect a psych eval. I was like, why? And when I was talking to the psychologist, she told me that weight loss surgery is like you will change physically, but it's really a mental game.
You have to have the right mindset.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I ended up doing the gastric sleeve in January 11th of 2024. I started the journey back in May of 2023, which I started and prepped everything. By December, I was done and I had gotten my surgery date. So January, got it, went in, and after my surgery, I was like really upset with myself and with my parents because I was like, I didn't want to do this. Like, this was a bad mistake because I was in so much pain. And I was like, did I make the right choice? Did I go down the right lane? And like, am I doing, is it really going to help me? Because I'm in this much pain with it. And so I started my journey at 365 pounds, which I had never been that big at all, ever in my life. But again, with everything you look back on, before I was going up to my surgery date, I went back and said, is this really worth it? Like, am I really making the good choice? And I noticed a big swing in my weight when both my grandparents passed away. I had my grandpa pass away in July of 2016 from cancer, but then my grandma, my mom's side, my mom's mom ended up passing away a month later. And so in 2016, my sister broke her leg, and so it was very hard. And I'm kind of an emotional eater, but you know, when stuff like that happens, it just like overwhelms you. And so I did that, but I just had like a peace come over me and was like, you're doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. And so I was like, okay, you know what? And I prayed about it and I was like, you know what, God, if it's in your will, you'll make a way. And so I did. And then, so again, I started my journey at 365, which was overwhelming. And then actually today, I actually weighed myself and I hit 293.
Okay.
So again, just a little over 7 months, and I'm already down 72 pounds.
Look at God.
I know. I was so excited. I started crying because I haven't been under 300 in like, I don't even remember the last time. It's been years.
And you look amazing.
Thank you.
You do. I am so proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah, it means a lot. It's definitely it's been a struggle, up and down and left and right. And some days I'm like, you know, I just want to get there. I just want to just give me at my goal weight so I can be. And people are like, oh, so what's your goal weight? Like, are you trying to get like 130? I'm like, I want to be healthy. I don't care about the number. I just want to be healthy and that my body feels good and do all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we still got a little bit ways to go, but you know, just in that 7 months, I feel like a whole different person.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. And you know, too many times we want to rush when we don't let things happen naturally. You know, they should happen naturally. But I understand, you know, the other aspects of life because of desire, like relationships and friendships, major purchases like houses and cars. I remember when I first went into the housing industry to buy my house. All I thought about is, I want a house. I want a house. I started looking for houses before I even knew what I could buy. I didn't even look to see what I could afford or anything. I was just out there searching, looking at different houses. I didn't care. I just knew I wanted a house. I was looking and had the realtor sending me, I was sending him houses. This is what I want. This is what I want. And then when I finally looked and saw what I could afford, I was heartbroken, child. I was so heartbroken. But if you do things the right way, and then I went and I was putting in offers on houses. I think I put in offers on 3 different houses before I got this one. But if you wait on God, you know, and this one encompasses everything that I liked in all 3 houses. and it's everything that I wanted, and it's a good first house. It's not everything I wanted, you know, it's a good first house, but it's good. I love it. I love it. Even cars, you want that first one. You just go get it and you're like, oh yeah, I want this one, and you put the money down and you go get it. No, wait until timing is right. Build up your credit. Make sure your bills are paid off. Businesses, entrepreneurship. You jump into things not knowing what you're doing. I've done that. Family, you jump into families, minor purchases, employment, and Ecclesiastes tells us, that God is a God of timing. There is an appointed time for everything. And there is a time for every event under heaven. We need to understand the timings and seasons that God ordains for our lives, ministries, cities, and nations. Bad timings can be caused by a lack of awareness, of focus. For example, in an orchestra, if the brass player or cymbal player doesn't focus on their timing, it can negatively impact the performance. Just imagine all of a sudden the band is playing, the orchestra is playing, and all of a sudden, where the heck did that come from? What you doing? It's not time. Like, wake up, what are you doing?
You can't rewind yourself either. And be
You can't rewind yourself.
Like the DVRs, it just a 10-second rewind.
You better know play your part. Sports like baseball and football. You're not doing it right all of a sudden in football, offsides. You jump too soon.
The flag's flown.
Right?
Wait a second.
And oh my gosh, fishing. Okay, so I don't fish. I know nothing about fishing except for going out there and being quiet and enjoying the moment. But you fish, right?
Yes.
You got to tell me more about that later. But give me an example of how timing is important and how it relates to our lives, fishing.
So yeah, for fishing, you definitely, it's not easy for everyone, that's for sure. I mean, I just went up north to Michigan to see my grandpa, and we always kind of go fishing wherever we're staying. And we went on a river. And again, fishing, you get your line, you get your bait, you get your bobber, and you throw it in, you're like, okay. And then I think what bothers me is that you're sitting there and you're waiting for your bobber to go down, and then you see a fish jump right next to you, and you're like, go that way. Like, go that way. And then you wait a couple more minutes, and it's like, I'm like, okay, so I reel it back in and I throw it that way. Because again, the fish just jumped over there. Mm-hmm. So I throw it that way, and I'm like, okay, definitely. No. And then it goes over there. And I'm like, is that the same fish that was it? I was like, I'm chasing you. Like, okay. So then I throw it over there. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go back to that section. So I throw it over there. And again, you just have to wait.
Keep fishing.
Yeah, it's waiting and waiting. But at the same time with fishing, it's just like a piece. Which you get frustrated because you're trying to catch the fish. Yeah. But then when you're like, you know what? I'm just going to relax. Let the water, let the air, just the wind, look at the scenery. And then I looked down and I was like, where's my bobber go? Yeah. And then immediately you start, because you got to pull back. I was like, oh. And actually, I caught one of the biggest catfish with my family. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Because again, I was chasing him, but then when I stopped, I was like, let me just look at the scenery. I caught him. So I was like,
keep fishing, catch that big catfish. Yes. Okay, I got that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Habakkuk 2:3 tells us that God has a special time for everything. everything. Even if his plan seems slow, we must be patient because it will surely happen at the right moment. This verse is part of the Bible where God speaks to Habakkuk about what is coming. It reminds us to trust in him during our waiting period. And timing is important in schools too, for teachers, students. And one of my favorite stories is Leo, the Late Bloomer by Robert Krause. I've had students to tell me that I can't. I don't know how. Or Bobby is better than me. Wow. Lisa is really good at such and such. And I always tell them, never say that you're unable to do something or that you're incapable of doing anything. You just haven't done it yet or completed that task yet. And all I ask is that you try your best. And most times in my classrooms or my sessions, students complete my sentences by saying that yet or the best, because I say it over and over again to reiterate that. Like lovable Leo, everyone is unique and does things in their own way and at their own pace. They fulfill their potential later than expected, and they often have talents that aren't visible to others initially. So you might not do things as fast as you want to, or get it as soon as you want to, but you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. So whatever you want in life, whatever you're going after, it's gonna happen. It is going to happen. And my favorite poem or quote for going through life when things do not happen the way that you want it to, or you think that it's supposed to happen, is the road to success is not straight. There's a curve called failure, a loop called confusion, speed bumps called friends, and red lights called enemies, and caution lights called family. And remember that all things happen in God's time, not ours, because he's an on-time God. Yes, he is. So where can we find you or follow you?
So I have an Instagram called It's Bella Mel.
Okay.
Where I'm starting where I'm starting my journey there and kind of hitting everything. But I want to touch on what you said because it's very true.
Yeah.
Because even with my whole journey, my weight loss journey, and really it's just a journey for me.
Yeah.
When you said timing and the road to success is not straight, because again, my brother told my mom and dad every year, towards the end of the year, we always do a New Year's resolution paper. Like, what do we want to leave in 2023? What do we want to bring into 2024? And what do we want to achieve? And my brother actually had told my parents, hey, I think Melanie's year is in 2023. And, I really hope this is her year and I think it'll be good for her because I was going through another job and everything. And then, which was funny because in 2023, I started my actual process for the weight loss and I started everything. And, by the end of the year, a lot of the stuff I was like, okay. But then 2024, and then my brother made a comment to my mom and was like, I had wished that 2023 was her year, but it seems like 24 is kind of her year. And I tell people that 2023 was the foundation for me to have 2024 be my year. Because like you said, timing's not everything. I think of my journey like a pathway to a house. Every month was a different step in my walk. And so once I hit that step and I would continually move forward, like you said, it definitely wasn't a straight, it's not a straight pathway, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Because it's, you go off a little bit and you go back on, but then, um, again, I always look at it as 23 was my year. It was my year to lay my foundation for 24 for me to start building up my life again.
Mhm.
So that's something that will always stick with me. And again, like you said, it's not on our time because again, when I first started it, I was like, I'm gonna get in here like this
Yeah.
should be nothing like boom, 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 and it wasn't.
Yeah.
But then 24, as soon as I came out from being underneath, I was like, you know what? Again, you just get that peace, and you're like, okay, I made the right choice. And again, and like I said, 7 months later, I'm like, I would never go back. I would. People ask me, they're like, you were in 20, would you want to do it again? I'm like, yeah,
Mhm.
because again, even with me now, it's such a hard mental game for me because again, you start to look at yourself what you used to look like in your clothes and all this, but then going back to what you said, God has definitely helped me so much because I'll be at times where I'm like getting in my head, and then it's like, no, I made the pass because I don't even think I told you this that I got the bill from my hospital because again, my total surgery came out to be like $35,000. Again, a lot of people, some insurance will pay, some won't, but I did not get one, just nothing, nothing. And I even told one of my groups that I was with, and she was like, "Really?" She's like, I even had to pay something." I was like, "No, nothing a part of that surgery." And like I said, I asked God months before. I said, "If this is in your will for me to do this, then you'll make a way. I'll give it away because I don't have a bill now." So,
Did you hear that? Oh, did y'all hear that?
right.
He's an on time God.
Mm.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. She didn't have to pay nothing.
Nope. Not me, no.
Wow. Okay. Amen to that. Mm. Just be patient. Timing is everything. Timing. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. And things will work out in your favor. I love it.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
Someone is going to be blessed by that. Yes. Next week. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, you shared where you were going to be.
Mhm.
Yes. So next week, we're going to be back and we're getting ready for school. Getting ready for school. Can you believe it?
Nope.
The bell is about to ring. So tune in and get the information about what you need and where you may be able to get it. Tune in. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much for logging in. So don't forget to push that like button, that love button, because that is how I am able to get information out to more people to see this. And subscribe. Subscribe so that you can see and be able to know when I'm going live. Receive that notification. And last but not least, make sure that you share this with someone else who may need to hear and get this information. They may benefit from it. And share for who you think might need to hear it and gain some information too. Okay. Thank you again for logging in. Thank you so much. And thanks again for being here with me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks to Melanie, y'all. Thanks to Melanie. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I will see you next week.